Hi, it's July 4th, 2026. Happy semi-concentennial. America is 250 years old today, and she's celebrating the way she always does, with fireworks, hot dogs, and a full-blown existential crisis. I'm Maple, your host, professional overthinker, and the person who just watched a parade float of the Constitution get stuck behind a vape truck. Welcome back to the show, where we explain America to Americans because we clearly forgot the notes from the last 249 birthdays. If you're anxious about the country while wearing flag shorts, congratulations, you're historically accurate.
The paradox is stupidly simple. We have the biggest military, the biggest economy, the biggest therapy bill, and we act like the sky is falling every election cycle. That's not weakness, that's the operating system.
Now, you might actually think this feeling of imminent doom is a brand new trend, fueled by the internet and doom scrolling. It's really not. Quote, democracy never lasts long. It soon wastes, exhausts, and murders itself. There never was a democracy yet that did not commit suicide. Now, that wasn't written by some angry modern pundit on Twitter. That was John Adams, literally America's second president, writing a panicked, doom-filled letter to a friend back in 1814. That was just 38 years after the country's founding, and the Founding Fathers were already convinced the whole thing was over.
And honestly, that deep historical anxiety is still incredibly potent today. Get this, according to a recent Pew poll, almost half, 45% of all Americans would rather live in the past. It's fascinating because if we contrast the terrible modern vibes in this pessimistic polling data against our actual reality, they just don't match up. The reality is steady economic growth, incredibly low unemployment, and cutting-edge tech dominance. The data is great, but the feeling is awful.
Section 1. Restless Weirdos. Tocqueville's America.
You can see these distinct eras of panic stretch from 1776 right up to 2026. Today we're stealing from Alexis de Tocqueville, who visited America in the 1830s, saw a bunch of restless, argumentative, prosperity-addicted weirdos, and wrote it down. His big takeaway? Americans are never satisfied, even when they're winning. Sound familiar? Modern take says we're collapsing. Tocqueville says we're just doing birthday cake the usual way, with extra screaming.
Tocqueville actually called it habitual restlessness. We don't do contentment. We do constant improvement, constant complaining, constant starting a podcast about it. That anxiety you feel scrolling at 2 a.m. on the country's 250th birthday, that's not a bug, that's the self-correcting feature. A dictatorship is calm because nobody's allowed to talk. A democracy is noisy because everybody won't shut up.
Section 2. The Washing Machine. Public Scrutiny.
To really understand this, we need to turn to another outsider, Gunnar Myrdal. He was a Swedish Nobel laureate brought in during 1938 to study American society objectively. His 1944 warning hit the nail on the head. He pointed out that free societies operate entirely in public. He said that doing social research, or basically looking closely at a free society, is like washing your dirty laundry under a magnifying glass. He warned that if you focus exclusively on all that exposed dirt, it creates a completely false sense of doom. It makes it look like the country is actively collapsing when, in reality, it's just cleaning house.
Now, just apply that to today. Our modern social media landscape is basically Myrdal's washing machine concept on steroids. It is a 24/7 spin cycle. It constantly churns out bad news, spinning scandals, dirty laundry, and pure outrage directly onto your phone screen. It creates this wildly distorted funhouse mirror view of America.
Section 3. Messy Presidents. Andrew Jackson's Chaos.
Political friction is the exact same deal. We scream about the Supreme Court, Congress, TikTok bans, gas stoves, whatever. Pundits call it polarization and doom. Tocqueville would call it Tuesday in a town hall. The friction is how we test ideas without shooting each other, mostly. We argue in public, we sue, we vote, we meme the president, and then we do it again next year. That's not collapse, that's maintenance. Just look at the 1820s. Elites described Andrew Jackson as violent and unfit, but you know what? The system digested him, just like it digests modern populists today.
And this vividly highlights why the panic is just completely misplaced. America has seen 45 temporary presidents, but we have exactly one permanent constitution. The nation has survived and digested dozens of presidents. The friction you're seeing isn't a sign the system is failing. It's a sign that the anchor is holding.
Section 4. Not a bug, a feature. The American OS.
So no, we're not falling apart at 250. We're doing exactly what a healthy, giant, loud democracy does. We freak out. We fix half of it, we break something else, we freak out again. It's inefficient, it's ugly, it's very American, and it's why we're still here.
Is it annoying?
Absolutely. Is it exhausting? Yes. Would I prefer a calm, efficient, authoritarian state where trains run on time and I can't joke about the leader? No, because I like having Wi-Fi and the right to be sarcastic about it. The politically incorrect truth is we love the panic. It makes us feel important. We think every election is the last one. Every culture war is existential because restless people need a story. Tocqueville saw it 190 years ago. Prosperity doesn't cure anxiety, it feeds it. Give Americans safety and money, and they'll invent new problems just to stay busy.
Section 5, Power and Panic, the 250-year roommates.
Back in 1858, Abraham Lincoln actually spoke of an electric cord in that declaration that links the hearts of patriotic and liberty-loving men together. You see, America isn't a nation built on shared bloodlines or a single ancient history. It's a huge, diverse, wildly argumentative nation bound together by an American creed, a shared set of ideas. That electric cord is exactly what keeps us connected, even when we're loudly shouting at each other across the aisle.
And the ultimate goal of all that shouting? Well, it's stated right there directly in the Constitution, to form a more perfect union. Notice the word more. The founders knew the nation was never perfect out of the gate. It was always designed to be a messy work in progress, constantly arguing its way toward being just slightly better than it was yesterday. Quick commercial for my ego. If you enjoy me defending your anxiety as patriotism, subscribe. Leave a 5-star review or a 1-star that says Tocqueville would hate you, I'll frame it. Send this to that friend who keeps posting America is over from their iPhone 15 in a Starbucks on the 4th.
So remember, our national power and our national panic aren't opposites. They're roommates who've lived together for 250 years. Massive thanks to my producer FireflyHaku, who still believes democracy is just a group chat with 330 million people, nukes, and no mute button, and somehow keeps it running through every birthday.
I'm Maple. Stay restless, stay loud, eat too much pie, and stop doom scrolling. Tocqueville already wrote the spoiler. See you next week.